Okay, so there are a lot of games releasing in September. The release schedule is picking up, and if you are going to try and play them all, you're going to be losing a lot of sleep this month. We'll start with the PlayStation 5. So on September 2, which by the time this podcast comes out, you would have already got it, I guess. The Last of Us Part 1 comes out, which is a ground-up remake of a game that you can already play on your PlayStation 5. I'm sure it's going to sell bucket loads because that is what people do with Sony games, but there you go. Also on September 2, much more interesting for me, Train Sim World 3 comes out. I really like the Train Sim World series. This one is apparently focused on you driving your train through all kinds of major storms and other nasty weather events. So it should be challenging, I'm hoping. Something I don't really want to do in the real world, but in the video game world, it's nice and safe. So I am looking forward to that. On September 6th, we've got Disney Dreamlight Valley coming out, which is it's like a Animal Crossing thing, isn't it? I don't know.
Is it? I don't
I
even
don't
follow
know.
this
Like
anymore.
Disney Animal Crossing? I'm sure there was something like that happening.
There was already a Disney Animal Crossing out there, which I can't remember, the Magical World or something. But I don't know what Dreamlight Valley is going to be different, but I think it is just a chance to hang out with Donald Duck, which is enough for me. I'll play it. I like the kind of more traditional Disney characters and stuff. So yeah, if they've done a decent job bringing them into that game, I will enjoy it. On September 6th, we've also got Circus Electrique coming out, which is, as the name suggests, a circus-themed game. It is an RPG. I believe it's kind of like Darkest Dungeon or whatever it is. Darkest Dungeon? Is that kind
It's
of
like a
really hard
dungeon crawl,
roguelike?
permadeath. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
one.
So I think it's like that, but it's circus themed and still creepy, which could be really cool.
That sounds good.
Creepy circuses are great.
Yeah, there's not enough circus games.
Yeah. On September 8th, White Day, a labyrinth-named school comes out on PlayStation 5. This game's already been available on PlayStation 4 and stuff for plenty long, but it is a classic Korean horror, stalker horror game. It is good fun. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if there's going to be any additions made for the PS5 version, probably not, but having it on the modern platforms will be nice anyway. On September 8th, we've got Steel Rising coming out, which is the latest from Spiders, which is a French development studio that does a lot of the kind of Euro trash genre RPGs. But in recent times, they've really been pushing up and doing some really interesting things that actually play nicely as well, which is unusual for Eurotrash. Their last game was Greedfall, which is an excellent game. And Steel Rising is a kind of alternative universe, French Revolution, where you get to hang out with Marie Antoinette and various other people from the revolution, but there's also robots now. So
there's going to be a twist like Greedfall.
It could be really great. It could be really great. Let them eat cake, and then the guillotine is like a robot thing, which would be fun. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. It has a nice aesthetic. On where we go? On September 9, if you're into your basketballs, NBA comes out. This year's NBA, so get them monies ready because it's going to be asking you for a lot of microtransactions, and I have no doubt that a lot of people will pay for it because that is what they do. Scrolling on, nothing comes out for a couple of days then, or nothing interesting. On September 20, we've got Solstice, which I don't know much about other than I'm pretty sure this is going to be like an action RPG thing. It has a nice aesthetic, or the cover is nice anyway. So yeah, I'll find out more about that one later on, I guess.
That title could mean anything.
It could be anything. On September 22, the Field Chronicle came out. Now, you would have been already able to play the demo. That's available now. And I am very much looking forward to this because that demo was excellent. This is a kind of pausable real-time battle game where, yeah, you control a small number of units around a battlefield, real-time strategy style, but you can pause the game at any point to give them commands, and therefore it's a little bit more cerebral than the typical RTS. It has a really nice aesthetic. It is a much bigger production than I thought it would be. It has a kind of Fire Emblem Three Houses vibe going on it with the way that you can explore a kind of hub area in between battles, and it just seems like it's pitching a bit higher than I thought it would be. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I thought it was going to be a triangle strategy situation, that kind of really indie thing, but this one is definitely a bigger production for Square Enix than I thought it would be.
Square Enix is just like pumping these out now. Like
I
every
know.
month they've got something big coming out.
I know, which is good, and it's also bad for my time. On September 22, we've got a game called Potion Permit coming out. Don't know anything about this whatsoever, other than I guess you get to make potions, which sounds like it could be an alchemy style game.
You're
Which
committed
means-
to do them even?
Yeah, it means it could be an Atelier situation, which would be great. A non Koei Tecmo Atelier. I'll be for that. We got the Kickballs coming out on September 27, FIFA 23 lands, which is great if you're into your football. I'm sure you'll be looking forward to that. And then Square Enix is back again on September 29 with Valkyrie Elysium, which I'm very much looking forward to as well. I don't know too much about this one. I have given myself a kind of blank on seeing trailers and screenshots and stuff, so I'll be going into that fresh. But just from the box art and stuff, and the fact it is a Square Enix RPG, I am looking forward to giving that one a go as well.
It's not a. Is it a Valkyrie profile game?
I don't know. I think so. Like I said, I've really given myself a complete kind of blank
okay.
on it. Other than knowing the title of it, I don't know anything about it because I'm looking forward to going into that one fresh. On September 30, we've got Let's Build a Zoo. I don't know if that's... Is that a zookeeper kind of game? I don't know. I don't know anything about this one either, but Let's Build a Zoo sounds good to me.
It is
Is
not
this
the
the,
Adam
um,
Sandler movie.
Is this the pixel one that everyone accuses of being too similar to Stardew? I
Oh,
could
that
be
might...
wrong.
The
think so,
box art,
yeah.
the box art suggests that might be the case. So if that's the case, then okay. Stardew Zoo sounds good to me, even if it is a bit of a ripoff. I'll still play that.
I haven't been following the controversy. Maybe it's completely original. Who knows?
Yeah, okay. And then on September 30, I'm just saying this one because it features bunnies, but Bunny Park comes out. And I'm sure that'll be the game of the year for me. It doesn't say anything about manage your own. Oh, no, this is the Neko Atsume game where you just collect
With
bunnies.
rabbits.
Yeah, but
Oh.
with bunnies.
Huh. And you get to play that on your PS5.
And you can play it on the PS5. That will be my game of the year. Absolutely, 100%. Collecting bunnies is a good idea for a game. Moving over to PlayStation 4 then, if there's anything that wasn't already released, it isn't getting a PS5 release as well. We do have Made in Abyss coming out on September 2, which again will be out by the time this podcast is. So there you go. That's a action RPG from Spike Chunsoft, which should be fine. Scrolling through, we've got Disney Dreamlight Valley, we've got Train Sim World. They're also getting PS4 version, so you can play them on that. Also, Circus Electrique is a PS4 version as well. NBA gets a PS4 version. They haven't moved on from that to make exclusives for the new generation yet. Trash Sailors comes out on September 16, which I don't know anything about, but that's a good title for a game, I guess. I think we're hitting the point with the PlayStation 4 that it's all the games are getting PS5 versions as well, or it's just shovelware at this stage.
Yeah, it's taken 2 years to get to this point, but we're finally here.
Yeah, it is. Like, oh, hang on, no, here's one. On September 27, The Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero comes out, which is, that's great, because if it wasn't enough RPGs on PS5, we've also got a new Legend of Heroes game, which I'm looking forward to a lot. Well, it's not new, is it? It's kind of it's an old one, but they finally localized it into English.
Yeah,
so,
but is it the Heroes series or the Cold
Yeah,
Steel
it's the Hero
series?
series.
The Hero series. Oh.
Yeah, so if you played, Cold Steel, The Legend of Cold Steel, it's that series. But this is an older one.
Trails in the Sky series, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know where it fits into the chronology. Nobody knows anymore. You've got to be if you're a hardcore fan of The Legend of Heroes, then you're probably yelling at your podcast right now because I'm saying things that are stupid, but I don't know where it fits into the overall series. I just know it is one of the older games that was released. It hadn't had
I'm
an
not
English
convinced.
version. Hadn't had an English version beforehand. I believe there was a fan translation, and Nippon Ichi actually worked with the fan translators to make this official localization. So I'm sure it's great because it seems to be one of those ones that the fans keep telling me is great every time I listen to them.
I don't think anyone has ever finished all the Shells games, so I don't think you
you
need
don't
worry.
want to listen to a Legend of Heroes fan because they're an interesting group of people. But yeah, I think it is one of the better ones in that series. So if you like Trails of Cold Steel, then keep that one on your radar. Oh, and here's another one that is a PS4 game, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, which is the second in the Pathfinder series. They are basically the spiritual sequel to the Baldur's Gate games in a way that Baldur's Gate 3 itself was not. I'm a big fan of, I really enjoyed the first Pathfinder, and I'm really looking forward to this one. They're big, look forward to a 100-hour odd game, but it is that kind of classic top-down isometric turn-based combat, old school RPG experience. So if you're into that, like I definitely am, then you'd want to check that out if you haven't already on PC. And that is it for PlayStation 4. So just 2 more RPGs on top of everything else that was also getting a PS5 version.
Everything on Switch is small. I only want tiny games from now on.
Over on
Only
the
small.
Switch, let's have a look, shall we? Oh God, I'm scrolling and scrolling. It hasn't moved off September 1 yet. Still scrolling. So Made in Abyss comes out on the Switch as well. Temtem comes out on September 6th, which is...
That's an RPG too, isn't it?
Yeah. It's loosely a Pokemon-like game where you collect little monsters and do battles and stuff. So it's been in the works for a long time now, and it is finally coming. So that'll be good if you're into your Pokemons.
I have not played it since the beta. It's probably completely changed.
I would imagine so. Circus Electric comes out on the Switch as well, probably the platform for it, to be honest. White Day also comes out on Switch. Again, the platform for it, to be honest. Splatoon 3 comes out on September 9, which I know a lot of people are going to be looking forward to. A lot of people are going to be looking forward to Splatoon 3. I guess the hype is very strong with it. I think people are liking what Nintendo has been talking about. I don't think it's going to be a massive step up from the previous one, but it'll be iterative in a way that people enjoy, and that's good. So
yeah, I mean, going from Splatoon 1 to 2, it wasn't that much difference anyway, right?
Well, they added a whole bunch of stuff in Splatoon 2, like a whole bunch of single player stuff and the horde mode or kind of co-op thing as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but like overall the experience.
Yeah,
well, there's only so much you can do with it, I guess.
More stuff.
Yeah,
like to introduce the Octolings, and then you had like the bit where you collected the like you did like you worked, and then you collected fish, and it also had like the more emphasis on the single player as well. Like that was more of a fleshed out actual like spin. So 3 is pretty much more of the same, and then all of those things where they were time based, like it's like, oh, you can't play this mode unless it's like between 2 and 3 on the weekend, sort of thing. Like that's opened up. That you can
I remember they did that.
time. Yeah, so they've done stuff like that, and a lot of it's basically quality of life stuff. But I guess we'll see how it goes as a game.
I'm sure it'll be fine. It's kind of major property for Nintendo now. They're not going to let it slip. So yeah, it'll be good.
Call of Duty fan feels is that I heard all of that, and my first thought was, I'm not going to play any of that. I'm just going to play the multiplayer. Is that how a Call of Duty fan feels?
Yeah, probably.
Whenever the new game gets announced.
Yeah,
probably. It's so weird.
So moving on September 15, we've got Absolute Tactics, Daughters of Mercy coming out. And as anybody knows, if you want people to pay attention to your game, you put Absolute in front of it. It'll be a tactical game, I'm sure. An absolute tactical game.
If they have a single mini game in it, everyone will be like, no.
I don't know why anybody would release an RPG in September, but hey, that's an indie RPG. That's not what I'd be doing, but they're going for it. Good luck to them. On September 15, we've got Fault STP. I don't even want to try and pronounce this. Light Gravity. LIGHTKRAVTE. Fault. I think that's a visual novel. I think.
I'm sad Alan isn't here to make fun of that.
I
That
think
is such a stupid name.
it is, but I think that is a visual novel. I think the Fault series is pretty well regarded as far as visual novels go. So that being on Switch will be a good thing. On September 15, Dungeons 3 Nintendo Switch edition comes out. I really enjoyed Dungeons 3 back on the PS4, sorry, not PS2, on the PS4. So that's a spiritual successor, I guess, to the old Dungeon Keeper games where you play as the bad guy. You've got to make traps that kill the heroes that are invading your lair. And it's delightfully fun, perverse, a simulation thing. So there you go. On September 19, The Return to Monkey Island comes out, which I think a lot of people are looking forward to. I don't know. I thought is that coming out on the PlayStation? Oh, probably not, because it's an Xbox thing, isn't it? Xbox and
new?
Switch, I believe.
Is it a bringing back the old games, or is it like a brand new thing?
This is bringing back Monkey Island. This is the new Monkey Island game.
Oh, I know, but is it like a brand new Monkey Island game, or is it bringing back the old Monkey Island games? You know,
It's a brand new one.
a remake or a remaster or whatever.
That trailer was like it's a new one.
Oh, huh.
And it's not a Xbox thing because it's Devolver Digital. I don't know why I didn't see it on the PS4. On 5 lists. Anyway, it's coming out on Switch on September 19. So point and click classic. It is back, and that is good. On September 20, we've got 2 more visual novels to look forward to: Amnesia Memories and Amnesia Later X Crowd.
Oh, I reviewed this back in the day. That's a fun one with
yes, Amnesia is excellent. Really, really high quality.
On the fun. Some of the routes are a little bit edgy, but it's an ultimate game, so I'm guessing that's par for the course, isn't it?
Yeah, they always are. They always have those kind of edgy ones. And both of these games do have that, but they're very high quality, like super, super high quality art and stuff. They were around since the PS Vita.
Yeah,
PlayStation Vita was the original release. So they're
a real classic of the genre.
Yeah, they're only being ported to Switch. You probably played them before if you're into your visual novels, but you'll be able to play them on Switch now as well, which is good. It's always good to have them on more platforms. On September 22, Field Chronicle comes out on Switch as well, probably the right platform for it. On the same day, another visual novel comes out, another Ultimate one, Pio Fiore Episodio 1926, which is
the Mafia one.
Yeah, this is the sequel to the one that was. It's based on the Italian mafia from the 1920s, as in 1926, and the previous Pio Fiore one was. Well, you know how you said Amnesia got a little bit edgy? This one gets very edgy.
Edgy, okay.
Yeah, this is a very adult-themed automate game. That doesn't mean nudity or anything like that. It's just particularly adult in its themes. And I'm sure this sequel will be much the same. Excellent game, very high quality, but you do need a strong stomach for it if you're going to play it. On September 23, we've got a new Taiko game coming out, and I did not know about this, but that's pretty cool. Taiko no Tatsujian Rhythm Festival comes out on Switch, which will mean more drumming on your Switch. It has 76 songs, which is a pretty good number. And yeah, it's great. Everybody loves Taiko the drum.
But it takes forever to get all the songs. I was playing the Xbox one. I'm like, half of these are crap songs. I want good songs. And then you go to the store thing and you have to buy your points from like the drum game. And none of the store is just one song at a time. And it's like, nah.
Did we not play the same game? I thought the one on Switch had everything already unlocked.
It does.
I had it on the Xbox. I played it on Xbox. I didn't have it on Switch. That's my problem, isn't it?
No, but I don't know why that would be so different to make the Xbox players suffer through that. But
there was only like 60 songs or something, and then like any of the additional songs, you go to the store thing, and then you have your points, and then you pay to unlock those things.
Have no idea what
I-
you're talking about, Trent.
Yeah, neither. I didn't see that at all.
No, it's a
I
bad
don't
game.
know.
5 out
Uh,
of 0.
5 out of 0.
So Legend of Heroes also coming out on Switch, which is great on September 27. Pathfinder's coming out on Switch. I did not know that. I'll play it on that for sure. That's coming out on September 29 as well. And I think we're getting close to the end here. Bullet Soul comes out on September 29. Don't know what that is. It could be a fighting game, could be a shmup, could be anything with
Could be a
Japanese
Souls-like.
games and their names. Could be an RPG for all I know. But there you go. That's coming out on September 29. I'm sure somebody's a Bullet Soul fan out there and will yell at me. And I think that's it. That is it. That is it for the Switch as well. So that's a
we've
lot
got,
of
like,
games.
12 RPGs.
Yeah, that's a lot of games. Interestingly enough, except for the Last of Us, it's not much Western stuff, is it? Like there's
Yeah,
some
I was
Western
gonna say.
RPGs, but it's more kind of the niche, like the Pathfinders. It's not the really big blockbuster stuff yet.
I
The Western
discounted The
games.
Last of Us because I didn't count that as a real game. So
Yeah.
when we got to Switch, I thought that Splatoon 3 is the first shooter we're talking about. And I thought that's really weird.
You know, The Last of Us is just a walking simulator anyway.
And I mean, Splatoon is it's a Japanese game anyway. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
very,
very
Japanese
Japanese take on shooters.
shooter. So there just isn't much blockbuster stuff. If you're into your Japanese games or you're into your more niche Western titles, then great. I mean, SteelSeries is going to be really good, I think.
Maybe it's also just nobody wants to drop their game in the 2K FIFA month.
It is possible that the Sport Balls games is kind of dominating the Western release cycle at this time of year now. So the shooters and whatever come a little bit later on in October, November. So they're coming. There's going to be some big blockbuster stuff released this year, but just not yet. So September's good for people like us, but not so much, I guess, for people who like the Call of Duties and whatever. But then I don't think those people are really listening on this podcast. So what are you looking forward to, Trent? If you had to pick one game from that huge pile there, which one would you play?
I'll probably play Splatoon 3. I feel like I'm all team Splatoon. I got back into Splatoon 2 recently, and everyone online just sucks at playing the game. So I'm hoping that everyone has like high scores, and they just have no strategy, and they don't help you out. And it's like, what?
That's
I
every
remember the
online
game
game,
when-
Trent.
Yeah,
That's
but when the
every
game
online game.
first came out, everyone was like, yes, we are a team. You go over there. I'm going up the middle. You're going over there. The other guy can do whatever, maybe like run around the base a bit, and we're just going to like ink as much as possible initially, and then we're going to like destroy everyone else. Like,
Trent, you're probably the oldest
everyone
person
just-
in any match. So
probably. But everyone
that's probably why.
Everyone just focuses straight on like trying to kill everyone, and no one inks anything properly. And it's like, well, we're not winning.
Yeah, I was just really surprised you expected cooperation from your teammates in a cooperative team online game. You don't get that. That's not what we do
The
here.
game used to be like this. It used to be fun. It used to be about community. It used to be great.
Well, it's an online game, so I'm sure it devolved like every other online game did.
Well, I can play Splatoon 3 before it devolves, and I'll be happy.
What about you, Harvard? What are you going to be playing if you had to pick
I'm like
one?
scrolling through all these JRPGs, and I'm just gonna say I'm gonna pick one because I have a folder on my Switch called JRPGs I have not touched, and it's got like 20 games in it at this point because they always go on sale, and I'm always like, oh, I'll play that one day, and it's only $10, and I never play it.
And you never play it. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna look into Trails from Zero because the zero in the title suggests to me that maybe it's a good entry point for the series. I've always wanted to get into Trails, but it's like Trails of Cold Steel 3. I'm not gonna understand that, right? And I can't get the first games on Switch, so we'll see. I'll probably get that one.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I was a big fan of the Trails of Cold Steel series, but admittedly, I haven't gone too deep into the rest of it. It can be quite confusing, I guess, that series.
It's a real commitment.
Yeah, and if you step into it later on, as I did, like Cold Steel was my first of that series. If you do step into it later, then it can be quite difficult to pick up the older stuff. But when it's presented to me like that, that's just kind of sitting there and released as a new game, then I can check it out, I guess, and it should be good. For me, I'm looking forward to Steel Rising, definitely. I'm a big fan of spiders. I really enjoyed the Technomancer, despite its kind of faults the game. The concept of it was really good, and I thought the narrative was done pretty well, and it was good. And then Greedfall really did push up to close to kind of, I don't want to say AAA, because when it gets to AAA, it gets dumb, but it was really pushing up to that kind of top tier of
Good
RPG,
AA
Western
game.
RPG. Yeah.
It's like
It was
polished,
really,
but still interesting.
yeah, exactly. So it was kind of a very anti-colonial game in terms of its tone and the way it was presented. It had a really interesting world that was consistently surprising, and being a smaller scale game just allowed the developers to be a bit more experimental with it. I'm hoping
Having
Steel
done the
Rising.
review, I was like all the way through it. I'm like, this is a Matt game. Matt needs to play this game.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did. I've actually played it through a couple of times. I bought the PS5 upgrade for it as well, and played it through again on PS5. It's not often I find the time to play a game twice, so that's a pretty good indication usually for me. If I feel like I want to play it at least 2 times, that I really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping Steel. I keep saying, want to say Steel Series, but that's a company that makes keyboards and stuff. I'm really hoping that Steel Rising is of the similar quality. The trailers and stuff have been really impressive. The promo art has been really interesting. When you start doing alternative histories, it could go either way. I mean, throwing robots into the French Revolution could go either way, but I have faith. I mean, I'm going to be interested to see if Marquis de Sade shows up, because he was operating around those days. And Marquis de Sade plus robots could be a very fascinating cutscene indeed. So yeah, that's my game for this month.